The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the marble floors of First National Bank. Marcus Thompson rolled his wheelchair through the heavy glass doors, his navy suit pressed to perfection, briefcase balanced on his lap. At 42, Marcus carried himself with the quiet confidence of a man who had built his success through determination and intelligence. The bank buzzed with typical Friday activity. Customers waited in neat lines, tellers processed transactions behind polished counters, and the soft hum of conversation filled the air. Marcus navigated toward the main counter, his eyes focused ahead with purpose and dignity. Sarah Jenkins looked up from her computer screen, her expression shifting the moment she saw Marcus approach. The blonde teller, barely 25, wrinkled her nose in disgust. "Oh great, another charity case," she muttered loud enough for nearby customers to hear. "What do you want?" she asked, her voice dripping with disdain. Marcus maintained his composure, placing his identification on the counter. "Good afternoon. I need to access my business account, please." Sarah laughed mockingly. "Business account? Right. What business could someone like you possibly run? Collecting welfare checks?" Her voice grew louder, drawing stares from other customers. A woman with her young daughter shifted uncomfortably in line. An elderly gentleman frowned at Sarah's behavior. Marcus took a deep breath, his jaw tightening slightly. "Miss, I would appreciate professional service." "My account number is listen here," Sarah interrupted, pointing at his wheelchair. "This bank serves real customers, not people looking for handouts." Sarah's voice echoed through the bank lobby. "I said no. We don't serve your kind here. Maybe try the pawn shop down the street." Her cruel laughter filled the air as Marcus remained seated calmly in his wheelchair. Other customers gasped audibly. A mother covered her child's ears while shaking her head in disbelief. Tom Wilson, the security guard, approached cautiously. "Ma'am, what seems to be the problem here?" he asked, looking between Sarah and Marcus. "This man is causing trouble, Tom. He won't leave when I told him we don't want his business," Sarah declared loudly. Behind the counter, fellow tellers Linda and James exchanged worried glances. They had never seen such blatant discrimination from a colleague. Marcus spoke clearly, his voice carrying authority despite his calm tone. "Officer Wilson, I simply request to speak with your manager. I believe there has been a misunderstanding." Sarah slammed her hand on the counter. "There's no misunderstanding. You people always think you deserve special treatment. Well, not in my bank." Tom shifted uncomfortably, realizing the situation was spiraling beyond his control. Several customers began pulling out their phones, sensing something significant was unfolding. David Chen hurried from his office, his face pale with concern as he heard the commotion. The moment his eyes landed on Marcus, his expression transformed to pure shock and horror. "Oh my God," he whispered under his breath, recognizing the man immediately. Sarah, oblivious to her manager's reaction, continued her tirade. "David, thank goodness you're here. This beggar won't leave. I've been trying to get rid of him for 10 minutes. David's hands trembled as he approached the counter, sweat beading on his forehead. "Sarah, please stop talking," he said quietly, his voice shaking. But Sarah was on a roll. "These people think they can just roll in here and demand service. Well, I won't stand for it." Around them, customers formed a larger circle, phones held high, recording every word. The elderly gentleman stepped closer, his face filled with disgust at Sarah's behavior. A young woman live-streamed the incident, her viewer count climbing rapidly. David knew he had to act fast before this became a complete disaster. David's voice cracked as he spoke. "Sarah, I need you to stop immediately. This is Marcus Thompson. He owns this bank." The words hit like thunder. Sarah's face drained of all color, her mouth falling open in disbelief. "What? No, that's impossible," she stammered, looking frantically between David and Marcus. Marcus wheeled forward slightly, his voice commanding attention from every person in the lobby. Ladies and gentlemen, what you witnessed today is exactly why we must fight discrimination in all its forms. No person should ever be treated this way because of their race or disability. Sarah dropped to her knees, tears streaming down her face. Mr. Thompson, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Please, I need this job. Marcus shook his head solemnly. Your apology comes only after learning my position, not because your actions were wrong. Linda and James stepped forward, bowing respectfully. We're deeply ashamed of our colleagues' behavior, sir. Tom Wilson removed his cap, his face red with embarrassment at witnessing such injustice. Marcus addressed the gathered crowd one final time. Effective immediately, this bank will implement comprehensive diversity training for all employees. Justice has prevailed today, but our real work begins now. Together, we will build a future where every person receives dignity and respect, regardless of their background or circumstances.